And Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
And your the paperback version of your book is out now, All That Matters.
Yes, yeah.
Which is an excellent read.
Thank you so much. It wasn't easy
to
write it. It's not a book I ever imagined having to write, but looking back now, it was a very cathartic thing to do and to get it down on paper and process, because you're still in shock. You know, I went straight from, you know, being oblivious to my cancer to being told it was stage 4, and in one sentence, you know, my life changed. But I think it does help writing it down, and also the response to the book as well from people like Mel, you know, who read the book and got in touch, and all the things that you feel are unique to you, all the feelings of loneliness, of fear. Everybody I've spoken to that's had a cancer diagnosis has mentioned the same thing. And
as a record for your children as well, because you will have very honest conversations with them. I know you do, but there's something about the sort of detail that's involved in here and the absolute sort of outpouring of, you know, what's going on in your soul that's not always easy to convey face to face, but it's here for them at any point when they want to read it.
Yes, and it's, you know, that was the chapters which were going into those details to the, you know, letters to the kids essentially, were the hardest to write without question. But the worst part was actually reading the audiobook. So you've written the book, you've kind of got it out, and then you have to sit down when it's still relatively raw
and say the words out loud.
Say the words. So I apologise to the poor chap in the recording studio who sat there.
It's like another 5 actually.
but yeah, it's great to get it out, and the response has been incredible, and it's allowed me to do things like to launch this you know, the Tour de Four, which is my charity cycle ride, mass participation, September the 7th. And it's open to everybody. So
I must confess, and Mel, we'll come to your story in just a moment, but I had a message from Sarah saying, do you fancy coming along with many other people she was messaging? And I thought about it and haven't actually confirmed either way. But I think you and I should go and join. You're signed up.
Am I?
Are you?
Am I?
Shall we?
You've got no choice.
Right. Yeah, well, it feels like I'm getting press gangs here. So yes, it does feel like we are. Yeah,
we'll work out how we can join you along the route somewhere.
Amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So the thing that you two have in common is that you are both stage 4. Mel, just tell us your story, please.
Yes. So I was diagnosed in August 2020 with lung cancer, slap bang in the middle of the pandemic. Had half my left lung removed, 4 rounds of utterly brutal chemotherapy, 1 round of radiotherapy, and the whole thing without my partner because it was the pandemic. So it was brutal. I was diagnosed at that stage as 2A, so I hadn't made it into the stage 4 United Club at that point, and lived without cancer for a year. And then a year later, they found my 10 tiny tumours, as I call them, across both lungs, monitored them for 2 years, and then my stage 4 cancer was confirmed last April. But I'm doing really well.
You look incredibly well.
Thank you.
And I know that your life and the way you've shared it on social media has been, some people might find surprising, full of joy and exploration, even since that stage 4 diagnosis.
Yeah. I think it's a complex world, the world of somebody with cancer. So you go through different periods. When I was first diagnosed and going through treatment in the first 2 years, it's traumatic and it takes time to recover. But in the end, you find, or I have found, and I think it's the same for many people I know in the lung cancer community, a sort of superpower where you really do notice the small everyday beauties of life. And I don't want to spend whatever time I've got on this planet feeling anxious and miserable. Getting on that bike has made the biggest difference to me in terms of getting outside. You know, I was saying to Chris earlier, originally I could do 2.8 miles, I think it was, in my local park, you know, getting out of the way of the dogs and the pedestrians. And I'm now up to 17 miles.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've got another 20 to go until the Tour de Four, which is on September the 7th, which happens to be my 58th birthday, by the way, Chris.
It's my daughter's birthday as well. We've timed that pretty poorly. But,
we feel like, hey, don't worry about it.
It's a big party for her and me. So I am doing really well, but it's not to say that there aren't dark moments, and the darkness hides deep inside you, and then unexpectedly up it'll pop. And you let it sit there, you observe it, let it wash away, and then move on, you know, and grab life.
How important and helpful and inspiring is it having someone like Chris with you, sort of as part of, as you said, this club, if you like?
Yeah. it made a huge difference to me. I actually saw the interview with Sally back in, I think it was October or November, and I posted a picture of you and Sarah next to a picture of me, Sarah, my partner, because it's very rare that somebody is out about having stage 4 cancer. And to hear it spoken about publicly in detail with the brutal truth of the harshness of this disease raises awareness, but it raises hope in yourself that you're not isolated, that we are a team across the cancers. So it really had, inspired me, I think, to believe that we have a sense of community. And once I knew about the Tour de Four, I was like, we're in, here we go. And I think the Tour de Four helps raise awareness, yes, that you can live good lives with stage 4 cancer, but it also just helps us talk about cancer more generally. 1 in 2 of us will be diagnosed in our lifetime. Lung cancer in itself is the biggest cancer killer of men and women in the UK. Not many people know that. So all of these conversations that we're having, yes, about the beauty of life, yes, about the importance of exercise, but also how to help one another through the shambles that cancer can be and how to live a good life with it.
I'm just looking at the Tour de Four website, actually. So if people want to support it, just go look at Tour de Four, the number 4, and there's all sorts of information on there. But effectively, it's also fundraising for research.
Yeah, so it's for cancer charities across the UK, and you can choose your specific one. And yeah, it's obviously the target is £1 million. We're obviously trying to raise funds, but equally, as Mel has very eloquently said, it's about changing perceptions and raising awareness. And actually, when I was given my stage 4 diagnosis out the blue, I had a very clear picture in my head of what a stage 4 diagnosis looks like and what I would look like. And actually, I hope on 7th of September, we're going to be out there riding alongside lots of other people in similar situations, so that if somebody on that day or at that time has just been given a devastating news, they can look on the TV and go, oh, well, that's not what I thought a stage 4 diagnosis would look like. And look at these people who are still active, still living their lives, and realising actually none of us know what lies ahead.
Well,
It's hopeful.
Sorry.
Yeah,
It's hopeful.
yeah.
You talk about activity. There's a piece on the front page of a couple of papers this morning talking about what looks like good research, actually, about the benefits of exercise. They were looking in particular at colon cancer and how that can reduce the recurrence of cancers, as effective as drugs in some cases. Now, all these bits of research have to be taken in context, applicable in sort of certain situations, perhaps. But what do you make of that kind of research and information? It's
incredible. My oncologist has been talking about this for the last few months to me, saying the importance of getting the message out that exercise, obviously in conjunction with your medicine, can be incredibly effective. It can make the treatments more effective. It can increase the time until relapse. It can increase your chances of surviving it. There's so many positive spin-offs from exercise, mentally as well. But he said that if you could have it in a pill form, it would be hailed as a miracle drug. You don't have to go cycling up, massive mountains. You don't have to do any extreme forms of exercise. It's just getting out, using your body, moving around, doing it frequently and regularly.
And it's never too late to start, as Mel has shown. A couple of miles around your local park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think it's having a structure to it, and often that requires having a goal. So if you have an event like the Tour de Four to aim for, you're reminding yourself, actually, I need to get out on the bike. I need to make it part of my weekly routine. But it doesn't have to be that. It can be anything at all that gets you up and out, using the stairs instead of the lift, actually just using your body and recognizing it's not just for ex-Olympians, it's, everybody it can benefit and in many ways benefit them more.